guys, welcome back to the channel. As you see, today we have a massive set for review here guys. We got the 2017 set number 21309 NASA Apollo Saturn V. This is a massive set, being 1 meter long. That is absolutely outstanding. This is about half my height if you were to put it on its bottom side, standing up. It came in at a whopping 1,969 pieces, was recommended for ages 14 plus, and is at a micro scale. So that means the minifigures here, these small little fellas here, are micro and scaled properly to the rocket. So if this was a human, this is how big the Saturn rocket would be. So it is scaled really nicely. Obviously this set is still absolutely massive, but you can get a sense of scale there. The model itself was based on the NASA Apollo program and was one of the first rockets to be launched into the space race for America. And this set is a very large but very big deal to the American culture. And obviously the space race is a big thing in their livelihood, and it means a lot to them, and probably, if you ask me, it's the reason why they're so popular and so successful over there in America right now. Obviously they aren't too smart because Trump and all that, but yeah, never mind. Going into the history of this set and what it stands for, on Apollo 10, Saturn V launched to the moon. In 1969, Apollo 11 was the first mission to land astronauts on the moon due to the amazing engineering of the Saturn V rocket. Just one of these rockets in real life costed the US a whopping $185 million US. That is outstanding for a rocket to launch 3 astronauts to the moon, even though only 2 of them actually made touch and landing on the moon. That's a massive amount of money. It's probably close to like 50 million per person just to go to the moon. Like, that is a ton of money. Looking at the model itself, it has quite a lot of nice details here. Looking at the back especially, there's a lot of greebling going on there with each one of these main rocket boosters of this first stage. This set obviously splits up into many stages. So it has this first stage here, then it has another stage about here that starts, goes up to here, then it's got its third stage. Lander goes in here, so this thing here goes inside of this cone here. Then it's got its service module, the sort of cockpit there, and the escape module. That is a lot, and they got it very accurate to the real life thing, having all of the modules put in there. The only thing that isn't accurate is this top module here, supposed to separate from the cockpit, but in this it doesn't. Obviously you do get a actual cockpit put in there instead of this white dome, but that's a little accuracy thing they didn't quite get right. Other than that, the whole thing is absolutely spot on, very detailed. Obviously this set is a part of the ideas line, which is where fans like me and you can go in and submit your own designs, which can be eventually turned into Lego sets themselves. That is a very big thing, and obviously this set definitely deserved to be made to a set, and it's absolutely amazing. Going further into the details of getting that, if you guys don't know how to get into that, so pretty much you submit a design of your own, and to get into like the review stage, you have to get like 10,000 votes over like a year period, which pretty much says like your set's popular and whatever, and then it gets reviewed by like some reviewers, and if they like it, you get put into a set really. Pretty much you get like 10% of the revenue of that set just for designing it, so it's quite a lot of money when you think about, like, 10% doesn't sound like a lot, but when the set comes in like $100, 10% of $100, $10, and they'd be selling millions of these. So $10 times a million, you're getting like good 10 million there overall. Obviously, that wouldn't be just in one check, but it's a lot of money there just for designing a simple model. So yeah, just a little bit of scale here. If we look over here, this is a minifigure back from like 2012 astronaut minifigure. It is massive. Just zooming out here, that's the minifigure just there. This is massive, absolutely massive. And obviously we can see in the background how the Saturn V works here. Obviously it's got many stages, and we'll go into that just soon. But yeah, these also got two mini builds. So it's got the lunar lander here and the landing on Earth. It's like when they came back down from the moon. So two very nice builds here. And obviously got these micro figs here. They've got 4 in the set. Technically only supposed to be 3, but they gave us an extra one. So yeah, very nice small builds here. So now we'll go into looking at each individual module here, guys. So let's go. So taking a closer look into each one of these sort of stages here of the Saturn V rocket, we are looking just now at the first stage. So this is the stage that originally would get the rocket straight off the ground, so that'd be like from the landing pad off. So obviously this model would have to be the strongest out of all of them. Not saying any of them are weak, but this would be holding the entire weight just in these 5 booster rockets here. They'll be holding it all over there. The whole weight of this whole rocket be over, I'd guess, probably like 200 tons there. So it's a lot of weight, and this one out of all of them carried the most fuel because it's had to put out the most amount of energy and combustion to get the rocket off the ground, being it having going from no kinetic energy to tons and tons of newtons there. So this thing would have had to be absolutely spot on engineered to the point to have enough fuel to get off the ground, but not too much so it's too heavy, and also be able to put out enough power so they can lift such a heavy piece of machinery off the ground. So one of the most important modules out of the whole rocket, just getting it off the ground. Going to stage 2, this stage was only started up when the rocket passed the atmosphere and started to go away from Earth's gravity, and this doesn't have as much power as the first stage, but still contains 5 booster rockets, which would probably put out, I'm gonna guess, about half of it, seeing that the size is about half to what the first stage's rocket boosters are. Now these ones would solely be to get this out of orbit and into sort of trajectory to the moon here. So obviously it's got a very nice sleek look, as all of the stage modules do, and a very nice rounded surface area. Going into this third stage, we have dropped off 4 boosters and gone to a solely 1 booster here. This module here was to get closer to the moon, to the point where they could deploy the lunar lander, and this one had a bit more maneuverability, as this booster here could swivel all around to maneuver this into a spot where it could release the lunar lander. Going to the release stage here, the lunar lander was put in 2 shells here, 2 half shells, which covered it entirely, and when released it popped out simply like this. Lunar lander would come out, it would join up with the service module here, and the 2 astronauts would go onto the lunar lander, go on there. It was actually pretty tight. This thing was quite large, but most of the room was taken up for computing technologies, camera equipment, and life support, leaving only a small area for them to fit in with their suits on. The suits actually were quite chunky, and it made moving around, especially in the lunar lander, quite difficult for them. Going into the service module here, it has a single booster, and this service module was actually responsible for getting the astronauts back to Earth, all the way to getting into atmosphere, and this is quite an essential module for the thing, otherwise they would be just stuck out there in the middle of pretty much nowhere, unknown space. Obviously landing on Earth, coming back down to solid Earth, we have the cockpit sort of module here with floaters on it. Obviously you might be asking, what are these things here, why are there only 3 of these yellow things? So these are floaties, and the reason why there are only 3 is because if it lands upside down, if there's 4 in here, it will just stay upside down, but if there's 1 left, it will push over that side and flip it back up. So the side that it will flip back up to is the front, so the astronauts can come out, even though if it is a little bit flooded, it will be able to still float up and point that way instead of pointing down, or even worse, upside down. So overall, this set is a wonderful set. It has very, very intricate details and very, very nice playability features here, obviously breaking up into all these modules here. It is absolutely amazing for display, and even though it is quite large, you can still display it upright, as I have it usually displayed here, pointing up to the ceiling. It's quite a nice set, honestly, displays, and one of the sort of prized possessions in my LEGO collection. So that'll be it today for the video, guys. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. That'll be it. You know, it's Gangsta Yoda. I'm head out.